All right, imagine transforming a simple Facebook ad into a $14,000 payday. I know, it sounds unreal, but in this video here, I'm going to pull back the curtain. I'm going to show you exactly how we did that with a motivated seller. And if you're tired of cold calling, you're stuck in the cold calling penitentiary, you're doing all these outdated tactics, you're not getting anywhere, you're going to discover how online lead generation could dramatically change your real estate business in an instant. Or maybe a little bit longer than an instant, but nevertheless quite quickly, all right? Don't laugh, G. So stick around because this strategy could just be the thing you've been looking for to take your business to the next level. And you might be wondering who's standing here beside me, and this is, of course, my chief instigator, chief a lot of things, yes. Mr. Gene Barreto. He's actually with the National Property Buyer Team, and he's the one that knows everything about this deal. If it was for me, I would know nothing. All right, so let's talk about, first of all, how this deal was found. Now, again, I know a lot of times with videos, people, they talk in generalities. And so here what we're going to do is we're going to discuss a specific property. This is 19607 Sunset Strip in Altoona, Florida. All right, this is the deal that we made $14,000. Now, up to when the lead came in, did you know where Altoona, Florida was? No, you need to get a little bit closer because
no idea.
Yeah, not too close.
I had no idea.
All right, no idea. And just so that you guys know where Altoona, Florida is, this is where it's located. It's located in the sunny state of Florida, but you can see that it appears to be in the middle of nowhere. All right, now when we look at this deal here, now I was the one that reviewed the call on. Now this deal, let's talk about where the deal came from. Now this deal came from a Facebook ad. This is the seller here and their situation. So this deal was submitted to us by one of our partners. So what we do is we set up ads for our clients. We help them run it. And then now we give our clients the option where they can go ahead and have the ability to submit the deal to us so that we can help sell the deal. And so this is what they submitted to us. Sellers were looking to move closer to their daughter's extracurricular activities. The subject property is too far from them, is causing issues. And then it was a mobile home, which we're going to get into in a second, under a 1/4 acre of land. They did own the mobile home and the land. So it's very important when we're dealing with mobile homes that we make sure that the seller owns the land. Otherwise, it's just a motor vehicle sale. They had, I guess he did put in the remarks here, we're going to get to this in a second, because this ended up being a big issue. The fact that it did not have a well for water, which typically if they have a trailer, then they're getting well from either the city or they're getting water from the city or they're getting well from underneath the ground. So in this scenario, they didn't have anything.
No.
How were they getting water?
Truck. They were trucking it in.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so this was the original contract. Original contract was for $26,000. This was, now the lead came in. Jonathan sent us the lead. He had it on the contract, and then you called the seller.
Yeah.
And then when you called the seller, talk to me about what you remember about the phone call with the seller.
So I called her and I presented myself as the transaction coordinator for Jonathan's company. Mm-hmm. And then I just told her, hey, look, the next steps are this. I will be your point of contact moving forward. Mm-hmm. I need to gather a little bit of information. I confirmed some of the details of the property. Right. And also scheduling a time for one of our contractors or partners to see the property.
Got it. Right. Now, at the time that you spoke, it did mention that. Didn't she have something that didn't go well with another real estate investor?
Yeah, when I told her about the contractors or partners, she said, oh, no, not this again.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I stopped and I asked her, why do you say that? And she's like, I had a contract with someone else. Yeah. And they were super weird. They took about 2 weeks to send someone. And when they sent someone, they sent a lady holding a baby.
Oh, nice.
And they didn't even speak English.
Okay, all right. So that would be a little weird.
Yeah. So I obviously I was like, that is strange. No, we'll send you reputable people we work with, people who have been vetted by us, and these are people we work with. We partner with. Okay, so it was like a partner. We're sending people that were partners. They need to confirm the idea, exactly, the condition of the property. Mm-hmm. So now, when we went to sell this property. Mm-hmm. There were some issues, and the issues were condition, the age, and the water and the wall situation. Yeah. So let's talk about that. Now initially you listed the property on Investor Lift, right? Yeah. Okay, and then you started to get inquiries, or not really? Well, no. So I put it up on Investor List, but I didn't blast it out the first day.
Got it.
Because I have a list of 6 or 7 buyers that I knew would buy a property like this.
Got it.
So my promise to them is I'll send you a deal 24 hours before I blast it out to everyone else.
And these investors originally, though, did they come from Investor Lift?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, so
first time around.
So the first time we saw them a deal through Investor Lift, and we kept their information, and then we reach out to them if there was okay.
24 hours before.
Got it.
So all of them said no. They weren't interested.
No, just about. Sometimes people say, "Oh, don't do that," because then you want to try to squeeze as much as you can out of the property, and you want to send it out to as many people as you can. Why do that versus the latter, which is, hey, let's try to blast it out and try to get as many people to look at it.
Because me personally, I'd rather build a solid relationship with someone who will buy the property,
and you know it's going to perform,
and I know it's going to perform and not cut me out in the end.
Got it. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So what were the issues? The issues that were raised on this were condition, age, and water. Maybe we can walk through each of these.
Yeah. So condition, they kept on bringing. Could I?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can touch my mouse, Gene.
Thank you.
Do you know how to do it? It's a Mac.
Yes.
You may not know.
I know how to touch your mouse, Chris.
Okay.
Yeah. Where are the pictures?
Oh, the pictures. There goes the pictures. There you go.
All right. So one thing that they brought up while they were looking at the pictures is that it's not really a 3-bedroom, 1-bath.
Okay.
So this was an addition that is not permitted.
But is the thing on the right? That's a mobile home.
This is the actual mobile home.
That's a mobile home.
Like mobile manufactured home.
And then how do you add that?
How do you do anything? Like,
I love the color scheme, by the way. It's really great.
It's like this is no man's land.
Yeah.
No one does it, Yeah. Inside it looked pretty decent, but it looked you see the sheetrock.
Yeah. Why is that? Why is there sheetrock there?
No idea.
Okay.
You see up here unfinished ceilings.
Yeah.
Like when you start looking deeper,
you
start seeing the problems, right?
Got it.
At first glance, it looked unfinished bathroom floor.
Yeah.
So it needed quite a bit of work.
Got it. Okay.
So that was number one. And then the other thing they said was the age, right? Mm-hmm. So this was a mobile home, I think, from the 70s?
Yeah.
70s, if I'm not mistaken. And I think in Florida, any mobile home that's 1985 or before, it's tough to get financing.
Got it. Okay. Because it's too old.
It's too old.
Got it.
And then the last issue was the water well. Whoever bought this is going to have to dig a well.
And then what was the cost of that?
Well, according to the seller, it was $7,500, but I find that hard to believe because you have to dig, you have to test, you have to do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, and you have to deal with the city and everything else, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So that was an issue. So the age, the condition, and the water.
Yeah.
Okay. And then now with this here, so that means that then they started coming back with us with lower pricing.
Yeah. So they were giving me offers of $16,000. 10,000. One of them said I wouldn't touch this.
Okay, got it. And so then at the end, a buyer that we have dealt with before said he would take it, but he said at a lesser price. Is that what happened?
Yes and no. So one of the buyers who said that he would take it for 16.
Right.
I blasted it out. I waited about a week, and he came back, and he had told me before. He said, "Look, if I can sell a property before this thing is done, I'll consider buying this."
Got it.
Okay. So then he came back about a week later. He said, "Yeah, I'll pick it up for." I think his initial offer was $24,000.
Got it.
Which was less than what we had it under contract for.
Got it. Okay.
So then we started negotiating back and forward. I told him, "Look, if we can meet at 28, is that somewhere where you can work?"
Got it.
And he said yes. So then I told Jonathan to go ahead and get a price reduction.
Get a price reduction, right? And then now the owner was very reasonable.
She was, because she was motivated. Number one.
Yeah.
She had a time. She wanted to get this sold before her daughter went back to school.
Go.
Because they were pretty much moved out already.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, and then she knew that the house needed more work.
Got it. So we ended up getting a contract reduced. So we got an addendum to the contract, which reduced the price to 14. And then we subsequently signed the assignment of contract with the buyer for 28, which ends up being a $14,000 assignment fee. Yep. Looking back, in terms of the analysis of this, one thing I noticed is that it's easy to, let me think about this for a second. With this particular property, it's easy for somebody to look at this deal and say, oh, it's too rural, and it's not really a deal and anything else. Do you feel that it's just we happen to is it Florida? Because I think in Florida, we always have luck with Florida. Even if it's a shitty area, then we always have luck because of demand. Why do you think that we were or is it just that we just ended up having the buyer relationship?
I think it's a mix of both.
Okay.
We have a solid buyer relationship with this guy.
Yeah.
And also, if you're right, if someone were to initially look at this, they'd be like, yeah, this is in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But if you and we know the area, right?
Yeah.
We know This is just north of Eustis.
Yeah, so if we look at Zillow, and we copy the address here and put it here. And we use Zillow pretty much for all analysis. Do you ever use anything else, or are you pretty much with Zillow all the time?
I pretty much use Zillow.
Yeah. So this is the area, right? There's a lot of activity, but here, this is where the property was located, was around here, right?
I think it was a little more south.
I lost it now. Bear with me.
No,
here we go.
Oh, here.
Oh, is it up there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was up in that area. But I think what happened is when I looked at the pendings,
you saw these.
I saw that. So I'm like, oh, this was like that house, and then there was this one here, and that was a mobile home.
That's a mobile.
That's the one that I saw. That I'm like, oh my god, they're asking.
And the one right next to it sold for like 2 something too.
Oh yeah. So that's what happened is we saw that. Wow, there's a mobile home selling in the 200s. Another one, like you said, sold, and then this was pending.
Yeah.
And then there's another one here. That's another mobile home for 229.
Yeah, but you gotta when we're looking at mobile homes, what really counts is the year.
But I guess my thought was, it's so cheap.
Yeah.
It's there was such a gap between the what the seller was willing to do and what we saw, that we like, hey, we got to take a chance on it because there's such a gap. You know, if it was close, if the person wanted $100,000, then it would have been tough. But at $14K, the end price, I mean, the guy can't lose. Even if he's going to destroy that mobile home and tear it down and put another one here, there's the money's there.
Which I think that's what he's going to do.
I was going to ask you what you thought he was going to do.
Yeah, I think that's what he's going to do, because in the last deal we did with him, it was a complete teardown.
Oh, so I remember that one. Yeah,
I'm 95% sure that he's going to do the same thing here.
I got it. Okay, so it's interesting. There's a buyer for every property. Price is always a great equalizer. And so in this property here, we sold another crappy home, a crappy mobile home in South Florida, made $14,000. And that also came from Facebook ads. Actually, when the lead came into us, it said that it was from Facebook here, here, Facebook ads. So that's it. Any words of advice that you would give to for somebody that? Here's the thing I think about is that the lead generation is one thing, but I think a lot of people underestimate the task at hand when it comes to buyers. Yeah. Right? Because it's not just getting the lead; it's about finding the buyer. Any particular tips that you would give? Because you deal with the buyers all day long. What would you say is the top tip or two that you would give to someone with regards to buyers?
Build solid relationships.
Yeah.
Because I can always leverage them.
Well, I think what you're saying with that is the underlying tone is it's okay to maybe not squeeze as much as you can out of the deal to sell to someone who you have a relationship with. And then if you're thinking that way, you're constantly thinking about building those relationships long term so you can go back to them.
They're a repeating customer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. All right, there you have it. I'm wearing a black shirt. Gene is wearing that, but it's okay. If you're interested in learning this exact model, how we do transactions 100% virtually all across the USA with online lead generation, then go ahead and click on one of the videos that you're going to see here pop up. That is a full-blown masterclass on the entire model. Take a look at that, and then you could take that video, and from there, you can do this business. If you want help from us in order to set this up for you, then go ahead and click the link in the description.